The clock struck 9 p.m, indicating it was time for the library to close. Lucy walked the hall, checking each room for straggling readers as she locked the doors one by one. As she left, she gave a final glance to the empty corridor. It seemed she wasn't alone. The dark silhouette of a man loomed at the end of the hall. "Sir," Lucy called. "We're closing now. I can show you to the exit." After a moment of silence, the figure did not reply, but instead darted through a door Lucy was sure she had already locked. Puzzled, Lucy approached the door, and as she went to turn the knob, her hand froze and she felt a tremor of fear move down her spine. She realized she did not want to corner this strange man. She pushed on in spite of this with trembling hands and ignored the sweat gathering at the back of her neck. Slowly, she turned the knob and threw the door open. But to Lucy's surprise, there was no one there. It was as though he had vanished into the stillness of the dark room. Lucy stood in silence for a moment before turning to leave. She locked the main entrance to the library and swiftly commenced the walk home. Flustered, Lucy looked forward to her bed after the strange occurrence. Deep in thought, she thought she could hear the faint stride of someone treading far behind her. Usually alone on this country road, Lucy remembered the figure and picked up a pace, trying to remain calm. The footsteps were much louder now, but Lucy couldn't bear to look. She quickened her pace to a jog and was beginning to panic. Suddenly, she heard another pair of feet hitting the floor, and what had seemed like one man's footfall now resembled that of an animal. The heavy clopping was approaching Lucy dangerously fast, and Lucy turned around in fright. A massive stallion was racing toward her, and she heaved herself into the open street. She laid gasping in the street as she watched it gallop out to the horizon. Bewildered, Lucy leapt up and resumed her walk home, eager to be safe within the walls of her cottage. When she arrived, Lucy removed her coat and rushed down the hall to the living room, where the television produced a low hum which accompanied the static on the screen. "Mom, you'll never believe what happened to me," Lucy said, still catching her breath. But her mother was not responding, and her curlers, unmoving, peeked over the top of the armchair as she noiselessly watched the static on the screen. Unnerved, Lucy slowly approached. "Mom?" she said as she slowly advanced to the armchair. She walked around to the front to see her mother's face, and with a booming roar and snarl which could only be produced by the throat of a great carnivorous beast, a tremendous woolly grizzly bear rose from the armchair. As the curlers atop its head rolled to the ground, Lucy shrieked and fell to the floor as it stood bellowing and gnashing its gruesome teeth. It was 3 times her size and less than 5 feet away, and Lucy felt the blood leave her face as the world spun around her to the accompaniment of ceaseless, thunderous roaring. The room fell dark and silent. Lucy rose abruptly in a cold sweat. Her alarm clock was buzzing at 7 a.m. It had all been a dream. She caught her breath and laid back down. She silently decided not to read fantasy novels anymore. After all, on its own, Lucy's mind is a perilous place.